Welcome YouTube customer. YouTube support subroutine function. It's very powerful. Some database might be called stored procedure. They can use on the server side using the basic function to compile and to run application on the server side. But some YouTube client application also can connect to your YouTube server and do the same function for the client application. For your application maybe has some issue, you want to isolate the problem or demo your problem outside your application. So you need to create the YouTube client application to call the particular subroutine to see any problem or not. In this video, have 6 different ways to call the YouTube server subroutine. I also will put the source code for download in the description field. So when you go there, if you can download the source code to compile it and run it on your environment. So what kind of sample program will include in this video? It will include the Java, UOJ, and JDBC. Java and JDBC connect to the server is different. UOJ is connected to uSubr, and JDBC is connected to ODBC server. Also have a latest uopy client. It's more easy way to call the server subroutine on the new application. Also provides 3 different kind of .NET application. One is for UO.NET using the VB.NET syntax. Another 2 is using U2 toolkits. One is for C#.NET code. One is a VB.NET code. The last one is actually is not UO connection. I will demo using UCI connection. So it's all powerful application you can connect to YouTube server and call the subroutine. Before you can run the program connect to your server, I just create one very simple subroutine called SUBRP2, 1 parameter in and 1 parameter out. So you can just try to demonstrate your problem. For your case, you might have different parameter setting. Then you got a source code. You need to modify the source code to call a particular subroutine. For my demo, just as simple to demo 1 input parameter and 1 output parameter. So first demo will show you is talking about UOJ and the sample syntax like this. You also can see it inside the description field. The second demo will be using the JDBC, and I always using Java 1.8 or later version to call a subroutine. The syntax is similar, but it's very different. So when you try to develop your application, you might want to get the particular source code is Java code, or the third one is the Python code. So when you get the Python code, then you can install the uopy driver very easy, and you can look in other my video talking how to install uopy client. The first one is using the UO.NET client. You also same thing. You can call a particular subroutine to call SURP2 and with the 2 parameter, you just set argument for 0 for input, the 1 it will be output. The fixed one is just particular I use in the C# code. So some customer using VB.NET, some customer using C#.NET. So you can get particular sample program to work with your environment. The last one will be still using U2 toolkit client using VB.NET, but it's a UCI connection. You will see the syntax is very, very different from UO clients. So you see this one, they have a command to create the subroutine object, command object, and to call a store procedure. And you have 2 parameters you need to define, the P1 and P2 parameter. And so when you call it, then you can put the input value in the P1, then when you get the output value for the P2 output, so you can get the output data back. So next I will show you the demo one by one. So first one is talking about UOJ, and we can look at the source code, very easy for the source code. The first one is called UOJ subroutine. It's the Java program. So you can connect first, input all the connection information, then and call particular subroutine. So I will show you the subroutine syntax. It's pretty simple and just like this. So when I have this program, so I can run, already compile it. If you want to compile it, you can put the Java C. And if you have class path setting correct, you don't need to put the -cp option. So for this, you can UOJ subroutine. So already you can compile again, called UOJ subroutine.java. So after compile it, then you can run it. So the server subroutine already compiled and catalog on server side. So I can use in the UOJ subroutine to call SUBRP2 subroutine. So I just using the default and connect to the universe, then connect to my local machine. So local machine will be, I can put the username and password. So connect to hs.sales, then I can text XYZ and get the P1 data, and you will get the output, the result output successful. So if you go back to the universe, that's the universe. So basically you can AEBP SUBRP2. So let's just a simple subroutine. You can see it. So basically, if you just FIBC. So it is the same thing, subroutine I was using for 6 demo U2 client. So that's just a simple subroutine from this UOJ. Same thing when I want to call this same subroutine using JDBC client. So for the JDBC client, it's a little bit different syntax, also using the Java. So you will see the syntax. I just show you very quick for the JDBC client. So you will get the here is the syntax for JDBC client. So basically, you need to create a callable statement, and then call the set the input parameter and get the output parameter. So you will see the similar output for this. So Java, so JDBC subroutine. So you will see the same thing. This time I connect to the unit data. So localhost, same username, password, demo account. So you see the same thing. But this one, I put hard-coded the P1 data called test data, so you will see the output successful from JDBC client. The next one will show you is Python codes. So for the Python code, so next one where Python code. Python code is more easy, just create a connection. The Python code is more simple. So go back to the demo. So I can show you in the uopy. So the Python, my machine will be Python 3.70. So that's the Python code. uopy.Subroutine. So I can connect to Unidata Universe. If you connect to Universe and you connect to the same machine, localhost, I can administrator. So I just input the password. So you see that result come back test data, and that's the output. The output parameter called input data has been processed. So this is very similar, but you have a sample program to work with the Java environment or Python environment. Next one I will show you is talking about uo.net. For the uo.net, the syntax you will be using the Visual Studio 2017, 15, or 2019 to compile your program. So the first one, we're talking about uo.net. So for the uo.net code just like this. So I show you the uo.net sample program. So when this, it's just very similar. The interface like this. So basically the subroutine call is just the syntax like this. So when they after compile it, the uo.net subroutine will be like this. So I can run this program and connect to Unidata or Universe, any U2 server. If the subroutine already compiled and catalog, so I can put the input data 1. So I know it's come back as my data 1. So it's successful for uo.net subroutine. This is using the vb.net source code. So after run this, so that's the first one using uo.net sample code. Next demo I will show you is using called U2 toolkit. It's similar, but just using another one is called C# code. So for C# code, using the different driver called U2 toolkit driver. So you will see the syntax will be .NET, the called u2.data client. So that's will be, if you look at the reference, you will see called u2.data.client. So that's for U2 toolkit. So output is very similar. For this one, it's called the same SUBRP2 Subroutine. So first one will input, second one will be output. So after compile it, the program will look like this. It's very similar. I can show you. I can connect right now, connect to Universe and call it subroutine. Then this time I change my data 2, so you will get the output with my data 2. The last demo will show you is the UCI, same thing for U2 toolkit, but will be different type of connection called UCI mode. So UCI mode connection, so for the interface is very similar like uo.net. You see this one, but the syntax is very different. So You will see the syntax like this. You create a command called stop procedure. You need to specify the P1 parameter for input, for P2 parameter for output. After you call it, you can come back to correct the result in the P2 parameter. So after you compile it, the program look like this one, and I already have a same SUBRP2 subroutine, but syntax will be different. So for this one, when you show you is my data 3, so it's all the output data is come back is successful. So you will see all different syntax for different driver, or you can connect to your U2 server and call the subroutine back successful. So it's the starting point to start to call your subroutine using all different clients. So you can download the source code from description field to develop your application or modify your sample code to simulate your problem to demo the issue. So I hope you can enjoy this video. Start using the U2 client to call the subroutine.